Sunrise Movement will be, because this is the environmental team's push for the next so often.
Yay! All other members of environment here.
And we're going to be doing various components of it. At this time, I would like to introduce Sam, please. Farquharson and Brady Lawrence. They will be introducing some components of this, and I will turn it over to them. Thank you very much for coming in and educating us.
Is it working?
Thank you for having us so much.
A clicker.
Yay.
Hi everyone. I'm Sam. I'm really happy to be here. Thank you so much for having us. I'm really excited to meet all of you. Seems like there's a lot of great work going on. So we are part of Sunrise Washington, and we're just going to give a bit of an overview about what the Sunrise Movement is, what's been going on, and just a quick high-level update. About the Green New Deal, very high level again, it is just a resolution at this point, so we aren't going to be able to give very specific details, but good high-level conversation. The Sunrise specific strategy on the Green New Deal, and then about our specific Seattle hub and how we can maybe work together or how you can get involved. Who we are. The Sunrise Movement is a movement to stop climate change and create millions of good jobs in the process. It is a youth-led movement. Most of our members are 35 and under, but we do welcome contributions and anyone.
There's contributions from 35 and younger. There really are. I'm not going to embarrass them by asking them to hold their hands.
But it's not like we're checking IDs at the door. It's that the reason why it's youth-led is because when we consider climate change, our young people are going to be bearing the most brutal brunt of climate change, and there's a lot of energy and spirit in youth-led movements, and Sunrise has seen a lot of success nationally in garnering support and encouraging youth voices that may not have been politically active in the past because they've been silenced, or they don't think their voice matters, or they don't vote, or a bunch of other different reasons. So, high level on Sunrise, make climate change an urgent priority across America, end the corrupting influence of fossil fuel CEOs on our politics, and elect leaders who stand up for the health and well-being of all people.
Yeah.
Clicker. This is where we started. So these are our founders. They started in BC. Sunrise started about 2.5 years ago with about a dozen young people who, I'm going to mess this up, so they were involved in campaigns against coal, oil, and gas extraction. They got together because they wanted to create more impactful change. So they spent about a year studying past movements of social change and developed the strategy for Sunrise, which is how we got.
Where were they out of?
DC, yeah. So these are the Sunrise principles. There are a lot, so I'm not going to talk through all of them, but I would love to read 4 of them. We're Americans from all walks of life. We are of many colors and creeds, from the plains, mountains, and coasts. A wealthy few may want to divide us, but we value each other and our differences, and we are united in a shared fight to make real the promise of a society that works for all of us. We embrace experimentation and we learn together. We welcome imperfection, share innovations, and learn through honest mistakes followed by honest conversations that help us move forward together. We stand with other movements for change.
Yeah.
Stopping climate change requires winning and holding power at every level of government. This is a huge job and we can't do it alone. When it makes sense, we work with other movements who share our values and who are also working to win political power. And we shine bright. These are hard and sad days, to be sure, and it isn't easy work, but we strive to bring a spirit of positivity and hope to everything we do. Changing the world is a fulfilling and joyful process, and we let that show. So this is what we've done. We have a video here about Sunrise, and it's probably not going to work. so I'm just gonna skip it. Should we try? Yeah, try. Oh, that's the laser pointer. Okay. Maybe I can play there. I don't know if the audio is gonna work.
Might be a problem with the Wi-Fi here.
Maybe we'll give it like 20 seconds. And if it doesn't work, then I'll move on.
We could do a dramatic reenactment.
That would be good.
I don't know.
60-second Shakespeare.
Yes.
60-second sunrise.
Is that using the through-store Wi-Fi? Because we get better in
Well, if it doesn't work, I can tell. I mean, pretty much the big highlight. If you've seen anything in the news about Sunrise, it's the big sit-ins that they did in Mitch McConnell's office. AOC coming and speaking to Sunrise and encouraging them. It's been really inspiring to see the momentum that the movement has been able to build, just by being loud. I think there's this is going to be a slight personal rant, but I think millennials get saddled with a lot of blame. So either we're not politically active enough or we're yelling. Yeah. So Sunrise has just continued to yell because this is something worth yelling about. And that's pretty much what the video shows, is the numbers behind what the yelling has done. And so we're pretty excited about it. And then now we're going to talk about the Green New Deal.
All right, so yeah, Green New Deal. The Sunrise Movement, obviously, as Sam pointed out, started more as just a movement to bring climate change to the forefront, and now the exciting development was what brought more and more people in, is that as opposed to just yelling that, hey, do something about this, there's sort of a broader goal now of something to push for. Of course, I'm assuming I'm at least somewhat here talking to a group that is familiar with this, but Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and Senator Markey's Green New Deal resolution that is now in both the House and Senate. And generally, again, I'm assuming slightly that you guys know what it is, but generally what the overarching goals of the Green New Deal resolution are to bring, by the year 2030, the entire U.S. economy and industry to net zero emissions. And within that process, create a federal jobs guarantee and basically guarantee a living wage to all Americans. Within that, what that would take is essentially a mobilization of the entire economy on a scale that we haven't seen since the New Deal, by updating infrastructure, making our places where we live sustainable and more energy efficient, basically doing a complete overhaul of all industry and infrastructure, and pushing as quickly as we can to put investment and incentive into renewables and sustainable energy.
Won't that create jobs? Won't that create jobs?
Yeah, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
And then another big part of it is the emphasis it places on working with frontline and vulnerable communities that even in the original New Deal were left out of that process. And so the idea is to make that growth and make this new economic growth something that is for everyone, not just a select few. So, yeah.
We don't have to watch them.
Yep. And so what we are doing, obviously Sunrise itself as an organization is a youth, basically, lobbying movement. It is not, we're not directly involved in writing policy. And so what we are now in the process of doing on a national scale is that the next slide?
Yeah, do you want to look at the map?
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, so Sam and I are both fairly new to the organization, but what we've been doing since joining is just mainly focusing on growing our numbers, growing support, and the next step that we're entering in, which is right here, where it says tour starts, is Sunrise National is going around and having these huge town halls where they're effectively trying to tell people about the Green New Deal. Again, it's something that I've been invested in reading and reading the actual resolution itself, and something that I've been following closely, but I was also at the Youth Climate Strike on Friday, which is honestly the most inspired I've been in, I don't know how long, it was incredible to see
Since
all
the
these.
town hall?
Since the town hall. But I was personally surprised to meet so many young people that are fired up and interested in this, but had never heard about the Green New Deal, don't know who Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is. And so the next step of that process is going out into communities across the US and having large events where you tell people what the Green New Deal is and why it is imperative for them to reach out to their representatives, to reach out to their senators, and say that this is something that we want to see, and it's something that we want our legislators to make happen. So I cannot give you a date right now, but we have one town hall already where we sent videos to our senators, to Murray and Cantwell. But we're going to be organizing another town hall through University of Washington where there will be a couple of professors who are going to speak more in depth on what the Green New Deal, what they think, again, it's slightly amorphous at this point, but like what it should look like. And just generally trying to educate as many people as possible is what the Green New Deal is. And then what that all leads into is, as I'm sure you all know, in 2016, in the Democratic primary debates, there was one question in the debate about climate change. And to see where we were then and where we are now is an incredible sea change in that space. And so the next big thing is at every single presidential Democratic primary debate, Sunrise is going to attempt to put on massive actions and get thousands upon thousands of youth to demonstrate outside each debate and guarantee that at least a great part of the conversation has to be about tackling climate change. So that is changing the debate. That is Sunrise National. That's the plan, and a little bit locally what we're doing. Do you want to talk more?
Yeah. Just a quick overview on our hub locally. So there is a Sunrise Washington group that we kind of just all organize under, but there are 5 hubs underneath that, I believe.
5
the
now.
Walla one just started. Yeah. So the Seattle hub actually just kicked off in January, so we are quite young but enthusiastic. We have just over 10 coordinators and about 75 active members. Very consistent groups showing up to our meetings, so that's really exciting. We've been doing a lot of high school and college outreach. We were at the Youth Climate Strike, very, very beautiful. We were doing right around when Mitch McConnell basically tried to put the Green New Deal to a vote on the Senate floor, and so there's a big uprising, or Sunrise was rallying as many senator office visits as possible to try and get our Washington senators to co-sponsor the Green New Deal. So we organized a bunch of senator office visits, also kind of in conjunction with 350 Seattle. And then we recently, at the end of February, put on a People's Town Hall for a Green New Deal. We invited Senators Cantwell and Murray to attend. Unfortunately, they did not come. But it was a really wonderful event. We had about an hour's worth of public testimony where people of all ages and races and everyone from our community came up and spoke for 1 to 2 minutes about why climate action was important to them and urging our senators to co-sponsor a Green New Deal, and we have that on video. If anyone's interested in watching that, we would be happy to share it with you all. And then, so that's kind of a high-level update. Question?
Well, if it's a good time, if you're still kind of talking.
Cool, let me go through how to get involved, and then we can do like a question.
I have a question on the senators.
Cool, yeah. So how to get involved, the number one thing that we can use everyone's help with is pressuring our senators to take a stance on the Green New Deal. Just a little update, the Green New Deal already has 89 co-sponsors in the House and 11 co-sponsors in the Senate. I think those numbers might have changed at this point, but including our representatives Jayapal and Smith from Seattle. But our senators have not taken a stance yet, so we still need to pressure them, call them, continue the conversation, let them know that their constituents care about this. We are a youth-led movement, so if you know any young people in your lives that are at all motivated by
And
this.
you all as well.
And you all. I'm getting to that. I'm getting to that. But connect us with people that may not.
Children.
Connect us with people that that young people that may not think that they can be involved. The thing that's been most inspiring to me about Sunrise is I've always been politically engaged, but not this politically involved. And Sunrise has given me kind of that opening to see what I can do, and I would really love to see more young people be able to have that experience, because if we're going to do it at any point, it's going to be now. Also, any teachers that you may be connected to that would be interested in hosting some sort of conversation about, or doing a presentation about the Green New Deal and climate change, that would be really great. We have a specific breakout group within our hub that's focused on that. You can follow us on social media. We can distribute the links to that in a follow-up email. And then our next meeting is on March 29th at 6:30 p.m. It's at a church
Where?
on 9th and Stewart. I
That's
forgot the name of it.
Downtown.
Yes, it is downtown, and please, please, please come. I know I keep talking about being youth-led, but really anyone and everyone is welcome. This is a fight that we're all fighting at the same time, so.
We have sign-up sheets here. They'll be up front. That's just if you want to get emails from us with updates about what
Right.
we're doing and the events.
Right. And thank you.
Could someone who's gone to the meetings with the senator's staff downtown explain,
Well,
talk to
right.
them about that?
That's exactly what I wanted to say. So, first of all, they do welcome everyone, because I went to the meeting at Jaya Paul's.
Oh, cool.
And
Oh, great.
it was mostly elderly, just like me.
Vintage.
Maybe 50-50, but anyway. Okay, so my other thing is, I am part of a group, you may have heard of this, that goes to, after the election, so maybe starting January, February, we started going to meet with staffers for the senators once a week. We basically pushed our way in. And they're basically Q&A sessions, they're Tuesday afternoons, they're for about an hour. Starting, and they go anywhere from like 5 people there to 50, it really depends, okay? Starting this year, for a variety of reasons, the sessions are now going to be once a month. They're in the federal building, the Jackson Federal Building, on, I guess it's 2nd, you know where it is. So I wanted to make you guys aware of that, because those might be good things for you guys to send representatives to. I think it's now the 2nd Tuesday of the month. And at our last meeting, which was this last Tuesday, everyone in the room actually made a statement about the Green New Deal, pressuring the reps to get a response out of the senators. I want to come back to that. So I can give you the info, whatever. Seattle Indivisible likes to pretend that they put these on, and it's fine. I mean, they do the rallies outside, which some people go to, but many people don't. So my point is that the meetings inside are not run by Seattle Indivisible. They want you to think that they are, but actually the majority of the people there are sort of independents, people from Bainbridge, people me from here, all over the place. Anyone can come and you can go to the rally outside if you want to or not. But it would be a good thing. So I wanted you to be aware of that, and my name is Carol Butterfield, and I can give you the info.
Yeah.
So, WTF, what is going on with Murray? Let's just cut to the chase. What do we believe is going on with Murray and Cantwell?
I honestly don't know. I was at
Do you have
all of the
Bigger
senator.
brains than ours that can tell us
Meetings.
why they are so.
I can only tell you that in my experience with this and talking with their staffers and having meetings with them, at this point, because the Senate is, they're gonna vote present on it anyways, why you wouldn't co-sponsor it at this point makes 0 sense.
Yeah.
So I don't honestly have a good answer for you. I know that Murray's staff specifically are more difficult to
Oh, that's really interesting.
slightly, and are more less interested, in my experience, with it, less interested in listening, more interested in talking about the former pieces of legislation that they've tried to push through in the past.
Well, and Cantwell tends to sort of kind of campaign on the environment stuff, but it's interesting because in person, Cantwell's office is usually much more reserved and much less willing to stake out anything. But yeah, it's weird.
Yeah, I don't honestly know why it doesn't make politically much
But
sense.
again, I can tell you, it's been represented at our meetings, and this last week, somebody got up and made a statement and all laughed.
Good.
And,
Something I'd love to do is, after this, I know there's gonna be like a discussion and a Q&A. I brought my laptop. I'd love to just like, anybody who has suggestions or like other organizations that they want us to know about or contact info, I just wanna like take rapid fire notes, so that we can bring it up at our next coordinator meeting. Any other questions? Yes.
Does Sunrise have a position on how the Green New Deal would be funded?
That was my question.
We don't have a specific policy positions right now.
So, since that is the answer, what I'm going to do is I'm going to point out it's 4 o'clock, and we agreed to a 45-minute breakout sessions today, and we are going to honor that. Anyone who would like to stay in this room for a continued conversation on Green New Deal, or to talk further with any of the candidates for King Conservation District, is absolutely welcome to do so. But I know our healthcare team is eager to get back to work on their initiatives and legislative priorities, and other teams may also want to meet separately, so the normal rooms are available for you. Please, anyone who wants to leave for breakout, do that now, and we'll take 1 minute to let people escape, and we'll carry on with our discussion.
Healthcare is going to be in that computer, the silver room, near the exit.
Okay, I go in the gate area. Oh, also, there's candidate literature on the front table. Don't forget your candidate literature for King Conservation District candidates. It will be here